Demon Claw TV, back with another Rusty Dagger adventure report. Chapter 7, Cursed in Iron. Now this is a scenario I wrote myself, based on a Conan story. I've tried to make this adventure with more choices, like a choose-your-own adventure novel, rather than locking adventures into a linear path. So there are choices to make, and depending upon what choices people make, different things will happen. Several of the events can happen in different order or location, or not at all, depending upon the outcome of the hero's choices and the success or failure of narrative challenges. Right, let's see what's been happening to Arzag. Right, after Arzag's experience with the cult of Dagon, Arzag joins up with a mercenary company. Unfortunately, the commander backs the wrong side in a civil war, and the mercenaries are shattered. Survivors fleeing the battle are ruthlessly ridden down and killed. Those captured alive are killed in a variety of hideous ways. Arzag is one of the few to evade capture by hiding in a swamp. Days of hiding up to mud, up to his eyeballs, and eating raw frogs and roots is getting to him. This is the fantasy equivalent of no beer and no TV make something go crazy. Arzag has found a boat and is waiting for nightfall before rowing out across the inland sea. When he hears the sound of someone approaching, he ducks into cover just in time. Arzag observes a young woman emerge through some nearby reeds. She looks terrified. Her clothes are torn and seem unsuited to travel through the outdoors. A man rides up behind her and dismounts. You recognize this man as the leader of the army that destroyed your unit and murdered many of your friends. He grabs the woman and tries to drag her back to his horse waiting nearby. At this point, Arzag could choose to keep hiding or to try and gain revenge on his enemies and maybe help out the person that's being abused. Never one to let a good enemy go to waste, Arzag emerges from cover. The man looks at him. I thought we had killed all of you dogs. He draws his swords and advancing. We're now going to battle Shah Amarath. The Shah is wearing armor, whereas Arzag is only wearing swamp mud for protection. Round 1. Arzag activates Primal Rage, then drinks his Iron Skin potion and moves up. He then draws the third activation. This is not great, because it will give the Shah the opportunity to take the next 3 actions and move in and start swinging. So, there we go. There he is moving up, and now he's moved back behind a tree. The Shah moves up twice and then lunges with his sword, but misses 6 to 10. Arzag then strikes him with a heavy blow 9 to 3 and parries the return swing 11 to 11. The Shah then misses 8 to 12. Arzag hits with a pair of heavy blows 11 to 8 and 10 to 7. Both of these succeeding due to rerolls from Primal Rage. The Shah is not to be outdone and hits Black with a heavy blow of his own, 10 to 5. The Iron Skin potion blocks one of the 2 damage, but this is enough to cancel Primal Rage. The Shah misses 10 to 12 and then hits with another heavy blow, 10 to 8, but misses with his last strike, 5 to 9. Arzag then misses 10 to 12 and then chops down his foe with a crunching strike, 7 to 3. The Shah is rolling 2d8 for his action dice versus Arzag's 2d6 plus 3. So it's a pretty even fight. And when both sides are swinging at each other with heavy blows, even the largest total of hit points can disappear very quickly. Arzag rifles through the Shah's pockets and finds 5 wealth. He also gains 1 skill point for defeating this dangerous enemy. Arzag took 3 damage from that battle, with 1 stopped by his Iron Skin potion. The woman runs over and begs to go with Arzag so she is not left behind for the Shah's men. Arzag agrees and gains the companion Olivia. They set off rowing towards the lake. They see an island and decide to pull in there to rest for a while. Grok really struggled to get anywhere close with this picture. It's okay drawing people, but when you ask them to do something like rowing or sword fighting or shooting arrows with bows, it really struggles. So everybody can see that this is definitely a leaky boat. Hopefully they won't be in it for 6 months. Right, they get to the island and Arzag is able to pass a survival check to find fruit and nuts and fresh water to regain some of their strength. This allows him to heal 2 wounds. Much of the island is covered in forest. While walking through a glade, a huge stone boulder comes crashing through the branches. Arzag just manages to dodge out of the way. Agility score of 10 versus the target of 8. Examining the thicket, Arzag passes a wisdom check to recognise the prints of a giant carnivorous ape. Knowing the apes are creatures of the forest, Arzag is determined to find somewhere out of the forest to make camp for the night. Yeah, here we are. Arzag decides to camp in some ruins. Olivia is not keen and thinks the architecture is creepy. Well, you are trying to camp in a stone hall surrounded by iron statues of a bunch of creepy looking dudes. I mean, this couldn't bode anything other than well. Will not get a good review on TripAdvisor. Right. During the night, Olivia has nightmares and wakes up, screams, and runs out of the ruins. Arzag and Olivia spend the rest of the night on the bluff overlooking the beach. Now, if that had been different, that could have gone very different and very badly. The next morning, Arzag and Olivia have time for a quick breakfast of fruit and nuts, sounds like a cereal advert, before they observe a galley beaching itself. A ragtag crew disembark. Pirates! The pirate crew find Arzag's rowboat and drag it aboard their galley. Now they know there's someone is here and we can't escape because they've taken our boat. Wait here, I'm going to go down and talk to them. The pirates are startled to see Arzag emerge from the brush. The pirates respond with blistering oaths and rattles of weapons. Wait, friends, I want to join your brotherhood. The captain pushes his way through the crew. If you want to join, you have to prove your worth against me. The crew spread out and form a ring around the 2 combatants. Arzag activates Chromal Rage. The pirate captain bellows and charges forwards. He's swinging a big axe. Arzag loops around the crates and strikes 14 to 10. Arzag loops around the crates and strikes 14 to 10. The pirate captain strikes back 11 to 9. Arzag strikes with a heavy blow 11 to 9. Fortunately, this pirate captain doesn't have heavy blow, so Arzag's only taking 1 damage every time he gets hit. Round 2. Both combatants are battered and bloody, but the pirate captain is looking desperate. He redoubles his efforts, hitting 9 to 8 and 7 to 5. Ouch. Arzag then retaliates with 2 heavy blows, 12 to 7 and 13 to 10. Arzag's sword slides out of the pirate captain as his body slumps to the ground. What say you, lads? I have defeated your captain in a fair fight. By the laws of the Brotherhood, that makes me your captain. Now, that's stretching the rules a bit, but okay. Arzag passes the candle test with a 9, and the crew agree. Aye, you are our captain. Swear by the hilt, lads. We swear you are our captain. A forest of hilts are raised to the sky. The crew need to get fresh supplies and water for the ship, and Arzag needs to go back to get Olivia. Arzag tells them where he has found food and water. Some of the pirates break out bows to hunt for meat. Arzag says not to go too deep in the forest. The pirates, not being the most disciplined, that's why they are pirates, break out casks of ale and set up camp in the ruins. Arzag climbs back up to the top of the bluff and greets Olivia. With a big smile on his face, he tells them that he is now the captain of a pirate crew and that she can come with him on further adventures. He's faced with the choice between going with Arzag or staying alone on the island, surrounded by monsters. It's not much of a choice. She smiles. Why not? It's got to be better than where I came from. Suddenly, a huge shape climbs onto the edge of the clearing. It's the carnivorous ape, driven by hunger to attack in the open. Round 1. Olivia screams and runs back behind a rock. That's an entirely reasonable reaction. Arzag moves and drinks his iron skin potion. The ape charges forwards, bounding on all fours. Arzag dodges the ape's first attack by millimeters, 10 to 10. The ape then smashes Arzag with a heavy blow, 15 to 10. This gets past the iron skin potion. Arzag's return strike misses, 12 to 16. Ape's proving pretty tough. Round 2. The ape misses, 11 to 14. Double 6 defense for Arzag. Now he's got a sword in the way. The next attack misses, 7 to 10. Arzag then hits with a heavy blow, 14 to 10. The ape grabs Arzag in its huge paws, 8 to 6. Arzag struggles to find room to use his weapon and misses, 10 to 16, but then strikes, 13 to 7. At this point, Arzag is down to 9 health and the ape is on 6. So I need to land 3 successful heavy blows before the ape hits me 5 times. Round 3. This gets off to a good start. Arzag heavy blows the ape 9 to 7 and 12 to 9. Not to be outdone, the ape strikes back 11 to 8 and then misses 6 to 10. Arzag ends up sinking the fight. Arzag then ends the fight by sinking his blade into the ape's torso right up to the hilt, 9 to 5. Its hideous vitality finally overcome. The ape sinks to the ground and some of the flock chips fall off its base. Okay. Arzag and Olivia scramble down to the ship and return to the crew. Suddenly, they hear shouts and screams from the direction of the ruins. That's what I saw in my nightmare, says Olivia. Arzag and Olivia get on board the galley. The surviving crew come running up to the ship, looking back fearfully. Some are torn and battered or bearing other injuries. Cast off, me hearties! The crew refloat the galley. Where to, Captain? I'm parched. Where can we go to get a drink? So Arzag gets another 10 wealth and a third skill point. That's 20 wealth and 3 skill points for this adventure. Arzag also gains Olivia as a companion. She might not be much good at sword fighting, but she is quite knowledgeable in other areas. With the wind filling the sails, the ship races off looking for a beachfront bistro. So these combat encounters were pretty tough. Arzag is level 4, and he finished up with having taken 10 damage because he managed to heal 2, so he only had like half health remaining. He does go up to 5th level and picks up the skill Crushing Attack. Just the thing to finish off opponents with odd numbered health, because that's a once per combat engagement 2 action stab that automatically hits and cannot be defended. So yay us. Now we'll have to see what the next adventure brings.